Once you've seen rich men casually destroy lives over a $1 bet, you don't forget it. That was Trading Places, the 1983 comedy that paired Dan Aykroyd's entitled commodities broker with Eddie Murphy's sharp-witted street hustler, then dropped both of them into a ruthless social experiment designed by the smug, cold-blooded Duke brothers, played by Ralph Bellamy and Donna Meach. Jamie Lee Curtis stole every scene she walked into as Ophelia, and director John Landis wrapped the whole thing in holiday cheer, Wall Street chaos, and razor-sharp class satire. Today, we are breaking down 15 weird, surprising, and genuinely fascinating facts about Trading Places, from accidental financial disruption on Wall Street to a movie gag that eventually forced the US government to change federal law. Before we dive in, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still instinctively says, "Looking good, Louis. Feeling good, Billy Ray." Now let's get into it, starting with number 15. 15. A movie plot that eventually changed federal law. Clarence Beeks, the ruthless corporate fixer who steals a confidential government crop report to rig the commodities market, was almost played by a real-life political villain. The role was offered to G. Gordon Liddy, the Watergate conspirator. Shockingly, Liddy was interested, until he learned the character would end up romantically involved with a gorilla. That was apparently where he drew the line. The joke didn't stop there. In the film, Beeks is later seen reading Liddy's real autobiography, Will, a deliberate inside gag that flew over most heads in 1983. But here's where it gets wild. Beeks' scheme, stealing government data to manipulate commodities, wasn't illegal at the time. Insider trading laws applied to stocks, not commodities. That loophole stayed open until 2010, when Congress passed the Dodd-Frank Act in response to the 2008 financial crisis. The specific provision that closed that gap? It's informally known as the Eddie Murphy Rule. It took 27 years for federal law to catch up with a movie joke. 14. They accidentally shut down Wall Street. The film's iconic trading floor finale wasn't shot on a set. John Landis insisted on filming inside the New York Mercantile Exchange, during an actual trading session. That decision immediately backfired. When Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy walked onto the floor, trading stopped. Brokers stared. Some laughed. Others crowded around. Estimates later suggested the disruption may have affected up to $6 billion in trading activity. That number was never officially confirmed, but it stuck, a very Hollywood-sized mess. The exchange shut the shoot down. The solution? Come back on the weekend. All remaining scenes were filmed with extras, meaning one of the most famous endings in comedy history exists because two actors were simply too recognizable to ignore. 13. The movie is packed with secret cameos. Trading Places quietly doubles as a time capsule of future stars. Early on, Eddie Murphy shares a jail cell with Giancarlo Esposito, decades before Breaking Bad turned him into pop culture's calmest nightmare. When Louis Winthorpe pawns his watch, the man behind the counter is Bo Diddley, rock and roll legend, casually playing a pawnshop owner. The man inside the gorilla suit at the New Year's Eve party? That's Jim Belushi. Jamie Lee Curtis' snobbish country club friend is played by Kelly Curtis, her real-life sister, making it a low-key Curtis family reunion. The baggage handlers during the train sequence are Al Franken and Tom Davis, both Saturday Night Live veterans. Franken's role was so small it barely registers, yet he still collects residuals to this day. Even Frank Ounce, the voice of Yoda, pops up briefly as a police officer. None of these moments are flashy, and that's exactly why they work. 12. The studio didn't want Jamie Lee Curtis. Paramount initially opposed casting Jamie Lee Curtis. At the time, she was still labeled a horror actress thanks to Halloween, The Fog, and Prom Night. The studio didn't see her as comedy material. Curtis disagreed, and took a lower salary just to prove it. John Landis backed her completely. He'd seen her comedic instincts firsthand and refused to budge. Her performance as Ophelia changed everything. It shattered the Scream Queen label and directly led to roles like A Fish Called Wanda. Curtis has said repeatedly that Trading Places redirected her entire career. 11. This movie saved Dan Aykroyd's career. After John Belushi's death in 1982, Hollywood quietly questioned Dan Aykroyd's future. Then came Dr. Detroit, a box office disaster. Trading Places flipped the narrative. The film became the fourth highest-grossing movie of 1983, and Aykroyd proved he could carry a hit on his own. That credibility paved the way for Ghostbusters the following year, and erased all doubts. 10. This movie sealed Eddie Murphy's stardom. Although 48 Hours was released first, Trading Places was actually filmed earlier. By the time it hit theaters in June 1983, Murphy had gone from unknown to unstoppable in under a year. On set, Murphy joked that between him and his co-stars, they had 150 movies, 148 from Bellamy and Ameche, and 2 from him. 48 hours opened the door. Trading Places blew it off the hinges. 9. Billy Ray Valentine was largely improvised. Eddie Murphy didn't just play Billy Ray Valentine, he built him. Coming straight from stand-up and Saturday Night Live, Murphy constantly adjusted dialogue, added rhythm, and reshaped scenes. Many of the film's most quoted moments were partially improvised. His loose, natural delivery clashed perfectly with Dan Aykroyd's stiff, structured performance, visually reinforcing the class divide without a single speech. 8. The studio worried the $1 bet was too cruel. Paramount executives feared audiences wouldn't believe two billionaires would ruin lives over $1. That concern missed the point entirely. The filmmakers insisted the small amount made the story sharper. The Dukes weren't motivated by money, they were motivated by power. The bet stayed, and it became the movie's moral center. 7. The Duke brothers were based on real people. Writer Timothy Harris got the idea after playing tennis with two wealthy brothers who constantly bet against each other, over nothing. Their petty competitiveness sparked a thought. What if rich men treated people the same way? Those tennis matches became Randolph and Mortimer Duke. 6. Mortimer Duke was a last-minute recast. Mortimer Duke was originally meant for Ray Milland, but he failed the insurance physical. John Landis tracked down Don Ameche, who hadn't appeared in a film for over a decade. Ameche agreed on one condition: equal pay. 2 years later, he won an Oscar for Cocoon. 5. A hit that was never number one. Made for $15 million, Trading Places earned over $90 million domestically. It never hit number one, but stayed in the top 10 for 17 straight weeks. Slow burn. Massive payoff. 4. 3 cities, 1 story. Philadelphia supplied old money elegance. New York delivered financial power. St. Croix provided the tropical reward. Each location reinforced the movie's class contrasts. 3. The Dukes got their final payback in another movie. In Coming to America, 1988, Bellamy and Ameche reappear as the same Dukes, now homeless. Eddie Murphy delivers the final joke by handing the money. Full circle. 2. IT was written 4 different stars. The original script was for Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder and titled Black and White. Pryor's accident changed everything, and opened the door for Murphy and Aykroyd. 1. The opening music spoils the ending. The film opens with Mozart's Marriage of Figaro, a story about servants outwitting the powerful. The ending is baked in from the first note.